מדברים אמזון, הפודקאסט שמקלף את שכבות העולם הסבוך של אמזון, עם עמית רוזנטל ואלי ונטורה, שני יזמים ותיקים ומנוסים בעולם האי-קומרס. בואו נצא לדרך.
Welcome to another episode of Amazon Talk Podcast. My name is Eli Ventura. Amit Rosenthal here with me, as every week. Amit, how are you?
Perfectly fine, Eddie. How about you?
Pretty hot. Summer is here.
Hey,
Big time.
listen, you are in Europe. I living in the Middle East. It's a different story
I
concerning
agree. I
the
agree.
weather.
I
Yeah,
without air conditioner now.
yeah. Here is impossible, by the way.
So we have another abroad seller from, I think it's the first seller we have from Canada.
No, we had Alfredo previously, but Alfredo was originally
Oh,
from
Italy.
Italy, and Wilson is from Brazil. Anyway, with us today, Wilson dos Santos. I also met him in the Canton Fair trip that we've been together. Wilson is an entrepreneur, Amazon seller, sold one of its businesses previously, and that's it. Wilson, welcome. We highly appreciate you coming and be with us at the podcast. So
Thank you
thank you.
very much. I appreciate the invite and thanks for the opportunity for being here with you.
Perfect. So, first, I didn't know that you are Brazilian, so I'm sorry about the Copa America.
That was a shame.
That was a shame,
Yeah.
but no, 4 years from now it will be maybe better.
Exactly. They can only go up from here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So first, I want to thank you again to taking the time to record with us. And we would like to begin by asking you to take us on a journey back in time, roughly 6 months before you start your Amazon journey. Please share with us, what do you do these days? What did you did? If you want to share your current age and what inspired you to dive into the Amazon world.
Mhm. So yeah, so I built my whole career in IT. I'm an IT guy. And but one thing that I always had with me is that I always had this drive to do more and to deliver more than what I was asked for. So I always had my full-time job, and I was always doing my side hustle on the weekend, overtime. Um, and one day I was listening to a podcast, by the way, and one person and then all my ventures, my small projects, my other businesses was all about software. And listening to one podcast, someone mentioned Amazon FBA, and that got my attention. Oh, Amazon FBA, let's research that. That's new for me. But in the beginning, I was very adverse to physical goods because I was afraid of inventory and shipping and logistics and so on. But then I decided to like give it a try. So I start researching. So at that time, I was working for the government, and my trip to work every day was about 35, 40 minutes. And I start researching Amazon
By
and listening
train?
to. No, I was driving. As I was driving,
You're
and
researching
that
while driving.
yes.
It's not
So
let's not
no,
recommend.
no, yeah. What I did is the same as listening to a radio. So I would download all the episodes. At that time, iPhone was yeah, the network and everything was so I didn't have too much data that I could leverage. So I would download episodes and then I would listening as I was driving to work. Um, and then I started researching it. Um, One thing that was again, and then my journey in terms of my Amazon journey started like that. So the beginning was the some I listening to a podcast. The guy was sharing his story in Amazon, and that got my attention. Then after that, I start diving and researching. And what sold me to the Amazon business was what for me was always a struggle, which was the selling part of the product. So, for example, for software development, I build roughly 15, 16 different applications that I built by hand. I built the whole thing and got it done. But I want to get to the selling part now, how you get the leads, how you contact the customers, how you write the contract to actually work with them. And then that selling part always was a struggle to me. So then when I realized that Amazon could fix the selling part of the business in terms of like Amazon, there was a platform that I can, if I bring a good product to market, can be sold through a platform. That really what caught my attention, and I start like researching and learning more about it.
If I'm hearing you well, you say, I'm not a marketing guy. I'm a developer. I know to create product, IT product, but I'm afraid of the marketing, or I don't
for me
experience.
It's because since I have a full-time job, it was tough for me to on the business hour prospect and go after clients. So then that was another reason. On the marketing side, I have a good sense of marketing. I'm quite good at marketing, but when it gets to actual sales, contacting people, booking the meeting and get the products on the market, I didn't have the time to dedicate to that. That was my biggest struggle.
Put us, Wisson, on a timeline, like which year are we talking about?
Oh, yeah. So that was 2017, and I was 41 years old. And that's one thing that I kind of made my mission nowadays to share my story, because each time I would research Amazon FBA, would show up those young, YouTubers, and they talk about like side hustle and so on, and that always was a struggle to me, because I am married. I have two kids. One is 19, other's 14. But in my eyes, it's still my two kids. And now how, like, okay, I got it. If you're young, if you're like 18, 20, you can afford to take a risk and so on. But like I had too much in stake. And that's kind of what I want to share to people, is never too late to start a business. Yeah, for sure. It's a struggle, yes. But one thing that I learned very early in life is that easy is not an option. If you're searching for anything that is easy, just stop searching. It's not an option. Everything that is valuable, everything that brings you value and brings you happiness and it's good for you, comes with effort. So if you're looking for a get rich quick, or if you're looking for something that is passive, I do nothing and money comes to my pocket, just stop searching. Just stop searching. There is no such a thing. But it also is true that you're never too late. You're never too old, right? So I was 41. I had a full-time job. I have a family. And I can walk you through later on how my schedule was by the time I was doing the research. But it is possible. It is quite possible. And I'm here to testify about it.
Wow. Amazing. Did you take any kind of training or mentor to guide you?
Yeah, that's why my story is like this. The podcast gave me the inspiration of the idea. Finding out that Amazon can sell which was my main pain point, was the drive, because it was like, okay, now I found the channel. The next step was researching YouTube, and then you get like one video about logistics, another video about PPC, another video about product research, another video about
what year? What are you talking about? What year?
The 2017.
17. Got
it. So, and then I quickly realized, you know what? I need a course, because I need someone that tells me where to start and how to move throughout this chain of complexity and knowledge that I have to acquire. So then, then I bought a course online, again, from a YouTuber that I met, that I found out online, and eventually we became friends. But I bought his course and went through his material online. And then after that, I started my product research.
Perfect. How did you choose your first product?
How?
How did you decide what will be your first product?
Yeah, for me it was...
I want to guess.
Yes, go for it.
Because you're an IT guy, you did only research, data, and the data won.
Quite. I kind of forgot luck in that sense because my first guess was in the right direction. So my mom has a business where she does sofa covers by custom. So you wanna cover for your couch, you call her, she's gonna go to your home, measure, buy the fabric, and then sew, and then come back and put on your sofa. So that's what she does. And then she was telling me about the reason why people buy those covers. And then based on that idea, that direction, I started researching products that fix that type of products that solve those problems. And then I ended up finding one that by the time I found, there were two big sellers. They were selling like $30,000, $40,000 a month, each one of them. So they're pretty much taking most of the market. And then I bought their products. I look at them, say, look the first one, look the second one, and I kind of merged them into one. So I got the what they had best for both sides, and read the reviews, figured out what was the problem, and then I designed a new product that would have all the benefits for both of them and solve most of the problem for both of them. And then I introduced that to the market. And 4 years later, if you go back to the same keywords and everything, you don't see those products anymore. You only see my product, what I put in the market. So to the point that now I got copycat, but it's funny, 4 years later, nobody reinvented an inch of what I've done. It's still whatever I designed is still what's on the market today. And those two other products are not even, their listing has gone. They don't exist anymore, both brands.
Did you protect about it as a design patent or something like this?
Yeah, I couldn't. I researched it. I spoke to lawyers and so on, and they said no. In terms of like patent, you couldn't. You could try the design, patented design and so on, but I end up not pursuing the patent route. But next time, that's what I'm looking for now. If I go back to that same niche, I'm going to come back with something that is patentable.
Why?
Yeah, just to have an edge for what's to come. So one thing with patent, and that was what kind of disencouraged me a little bit in terms of pursuing the patent, is one thing that the lawyer said, Amazon says as well, it's your responsibility to protect it. So Amazon, so each time someone infringes your patent, it's on you to go after them and communicate with them and so on. And depending on who is doing it, Amazon, I was listening to Karen's interview, which was very good, by the way. I love her. And she was talking about how easy it is for her to kind of kick them out of Amazon. And that gave me a second thought about pursuing patenting again. But for me was, again, I want to go back to a product that has patent because, first of all, now I have time, now I have money, and now I can afford to kind of go through it, get it done before I launch it. And if I go back to that, which pretty much I'm going to go back to the same market sometime, I want to be with something that gives them a little bit more protection.
And where did you decide to launch your product? On Amazon US or Canada?
Yeah, both. I launched at both marketplaces at the same time. So the shipment came to both warehouses, and then I launched it pretty much simultaneously.
And where it was easier? I
No,
don't
in
know if
terms,
easier is the right word to say.
yeah,
When it was successful, more successful.
most successful, yeah, US for sure in terms of size and the growth of the market. US, which what I made most of my money. But Canada was good. It was better than I expected, honestly.
Wow.
Like Canada is about
Wisdom,
like 30 million, 40 million people,
Wow.
which is US is like 300. But it was good. It wasn't that bad.
Wilson, I have a question.
Mhm.
Considering the fact that you already sold one brand and you're considering going again into the Amazon space or to the Amazon market, and given the fact that I know you a little bit and I know how much like you're doing research and everything and go into the details itself, like how do you find today Amazon Marketplace compared to what it's been in 2017? And
Mhm.
how would you be able to adjust or adapt the new regulations and everything?
Yeah.
Because it's
So
much tougher today, right? We can agree.
it is. But in a sense, again, as I mentioned before, easy is not an option for anything. Even in the past, when people say, "Oh, in the past I could buy reviews, I could incentive people to leave a review." Yeah, but you still need to have a product. You still need to source it. You still need to put on the market. Then once everything is done, you had that ability to actually incentive people, get incentive to get reviews back, and Amazon would not punish you and everything. But the complexity still is always there. So the way I see Amazon nowadays, I hear you in terms of like, yeah, some people talk about the complexity and the high prices and so on. But at the end of the day, it's in my opinion is that the opportunity is still there because I think one thing that okay, let's just define a few terms. In the past, when people talk about Amazon business, they were saying go to your product research tool, find out what's selling, copycat what was there, put on the same keywords as they used, and boom, you're making money. Okay, that was the model. That's what people were selling as Amazon
Yeah, but it
business.
stops in 2015.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking. Amazon business meant that. Okay, I never saw Amazon business with that frame. It was never my goal. What I saw about Amazon business is there is a pool of customers that are ready to purchase good solutions for their problems. So that's what Amazon business is. Our work is to find out what the problem is, develop a product that solves the problem, and then boom, we have a marketplace that can promote and sell your solution. That's what Amazon business is, right? So the researching and everything, there are some statistics that talks about like how many people create account and never put a product out there, right? Because what they're expecting is that they're going to look numbers, and I'm telling you, right now, I can afford to dump $10,000, $20,000 into a new product on Amazon just to try it out. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I can do that. I don't do it. When gets the final write a check, put a 10 grand down. I always go like, oh, wait a minute. Let's think about it. So if people are with that mentality in the past that I researched for a keyword and then I found the demand, then I saw a product that is a winning product. I found someone that does it. I'm gonna source that same product and go back to the Amazon. Yeah, then definitely Amazon business is not for you because that doesn't work anymore. So if you're comparing Amazon business in this concepts, what was in the past and what is now, Amazon is way harder. But if you go with the approach of, wait a minute, whatever I invented, see, if I invent anything, there is a platform that can sell it for me, then Amazon is still a great way to make a lot of money. A lot of money.
I want to say that if I hear you well, you say that differentiation in 2024,
Mhm.
differentiation in your new product should be not about or not only about the design, the cute design, the new design. You need to differentiate your product by solving the customer problem.
Exactly. Adding value.
Adding value.
Exactly. Your
And
product is not just about
how do you know what is the problem? How do you research that?
Yeah, that's a good point. So that's where I spend most of my time, is reading the reviews, it's understanding the marketplace, interviewing people that has that different that is involved in that particular niche. That's how I'd solve the problem.
That's interesting. I want to talk about Amazon Canada.
Yes.
For a minute. I think that many sellers doesn't really realize that Amazon Canada is a gem. And in the niches and categories that has good demand, because, for example, one of my niche in the US, it's a small niche in the US, but it's okay for me because I'm ruling the niche. When I tried to sell in Canada, it was $2,000 monthly sales, something like that.
Yes.
But now I'm selling in another niche, in higher demand niche, and I'm ruling the category, the search result. And it's very simple, and the bids on the PPC are significantly lower than US. Can you share a few words about Canada, about the Canada customers, as you know them, and the Canada marketplaces?
See, I agree 100% with you. Canada is still a good marketplace to get into it. Again, let's talk about it, and I always like to go back to the simple kind of way of thinking. When we say good opportunity, when you say you can make lots of money, when we say, it's a good kind of marketplace, let's talk about how much are we talking about, right? So honestly, if you make $60,000 a year in Canada, net on your bank account every month is about $3,300. So $3,200, okay, for a $60,000 salary annually. If you make $100,000, you may make like $4,500, okay, $4,500. So if you can bring a product to market that gives you $4,000 profit every month, you're beating a salary of $100,000 to someone that's working 8 hours or 6 hours, 7 hours a day for somebody else. So when we talk about good opportunity, like there is market, we talk about that. Like if you make a good $5,000 a month profit that you can take from an Amazon business, you're bidding a big salary out there that people, that are hustling for, 6, 7 hours a day. That's what they are making. So, and definitely you can do that in Canada. Okay. One thing that people get confused sometimes is we jump from our reality today, if ask someone like, how much money would make you rich? Sometimes we jump from our $100,000 a year salary to like $100 million. Like we do a jump like so high, then people don't realize that you don't need that much, honestly. Like if you go back to the basis, you need a $4,000, $5,000 a month. You can live very comfortable. You know what I mean? It's not, you're not going to be rich in the sense that you can have a private jet, but you can have a decent living. Okay. If you double that dream of $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month, man, you're rocking. Like profit. Yeah, you have a good salary. Then now you bring $100,000 net to your to home. So in that sense, so sometimes people get confused. They overestimate what you can do on Amazon in terms of like they want to be a billionaire on Amazon, or they underestimate in the sense like, if you just to make $100 a month, then it's not for me. But as you're just saying, so going back to your question, Canada is a great marketplace. Like you can make $5,000 a month in Canada on the Canada marketplace without the craziness of US and all the PPC but if you go to Canada, you can launch like 3-4 products in Canada, make $1,000 each a month in profit. How hard is that? Like,
Yeah.
$1,000 profit on 3-4 products, you get to a very kind of a safe net for your finance.
Will you
And Canada is
recommend to a
it's a
new
good
seller?
marketplace. Pardon me?
Will you recommend to a new seller that's starting today his Amazon journey to consider starting in Amazon Canada?
Yes, especially I'm not sure, I'm not 100% right now if the reviews you can carry over to US. In the past you could, if you
Yes.
build a
Okay.
so if you have like 10 20 like how many reviews you have in Canada, when you launch the product in US you can carry them over. So for that reason alone, I would suggest people to start in Canada. In terms of complexity, but I don't live in North America, so I live in Europe. Like how complex it is to import and warehousing, and Amazon is the same business as usual on Amazon US and Amazon Canada. Literally the same. Do we need to have a company in Canada to open? No. The same way you don't need to sell on the US, you also don't need to sell in Canada. What about importing?
What about logistics? Yeah.
Yeah, what was just
can you share?
the same thing. So you have the option to shipping directly to the Amazon warehouse, and then from there they distribute to Canada for you, or you find a 3PL or a warehouse, and then you send to that warehouse, and from that warehouse to the Amazon warehouse. Well, the good thing about Canada, yeah, go for it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, there is no the inbound placement fee in Canada also, right? So that's a huge advantage.
I think so. Let's say
the quotation request I got, we don't get so it's for one warehouse. That's it. So I would say that there is no inbound placement fee, and that's a huge advantage as well.
And shipping from China to US versus China to Canada is basically the same. I'm asking
basically the same, because if you go through the East Coast, then you land in Toronto, and then Toronto is going to be your kind of the GTA area, the Great Toronto area is your main marketplace. So 99% of the sales is going to be there. And if you go through the West Coast, then it's going to be Vancouver. And then Vancouver also is going to have its own kind of area where most of your sales will be. So pretty much these two warehouses, Toronto and Vancouver, are the main marketplace for Canada in general.
Got it.
They have a lot of land, not that much people.
Let's talk about the continue of your journey. How did you scale up your business?
So, yeah, we put the first inventory down, and then one funny story was, again, when I was doing the research, I was 41 years old, was researching Amazon, decide to pull the plug and say, okay, you know what, let's give it a try, and then before I researched the product, I decided to do the course. The course cost me almost $1,000 to do the course. And I was like, okay, should I go? Should I not go? Then my mom came along and said, so what is preventing you to move? Because me and my mom, we are very close. And she said, what's preventing you from moving forward? I said, I don't know. I know the cost. I don't know if I'm going to invest this money. She's like, I'll give you the money. Don't worry about it. I was 41. I didn't need her money. I had money to do it, but I need that push that says, you know what? If the money, I'll give you the money. And I was like, okay, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll go for it. Then I end up putting my first order was already 1,000 units. So when I placed my first order, 1,000 units, then I bring 300 to Canada, 700 to US. Man, I hit the ground running. So the day my listing went live was August 2018. So it took me a year from finding out what Amazon was. By the time my listing was ready, I had a product that was selling. It took me 1 year. So August 2018, I start selling. August, Q4 So August, October, November, December, my sales start ramping up. By mid-December, right before Christmas, I was out of inventory already. So I sold the 700 units. Before that, when it got to like 300 units left, I quickly contacted the supplier, got it in. Then I brought more units by air, and then the sales start picking up. And then the after that, my next order was 3,000 units. So I pretty much dumped all the money from the first sales into the next inventory with zero. I didn't take a zero. I took $0 out of the business. Put a 3,000 units. When it sold, then I put another 9,000 units, and that was very scary. Now I was writing check of like $30,000 to $20,000, and I was getting very scared because if one of the shipment goes sideways, I would have problems. But then the sales just started picking up, and then the pandemic came in, and that was a big catalyst for the product.
Why?
So what the pandemic did for me, which did for a lot of people, is gave a lot of free exposure, I would say, in the sense that people were at home, they were shopping more, they were researching more. So what happened to my product was that I could see in the PPC and so other stats that my conversion rate was over 70%. So people would come to the list. Out of 10 people that got to the list, 7 bought it, right?
It's amazing.
And then when the pandemic came, I just had more exposure. Like more people were giving the time to find out that product existed. So my sales just took off. Like from August 2018, let's say 1 year later, like for December 2019, I sold almost like $300,000-$400,000 just like in 1 year, right? Wow. And then came the second year, 2019 to 20. That's actually when the pandemic came, and then it flew by. By 2020 really took off, and 2021 I sold. That was my trajectory.
Why did you decided to sell?
Yeah. So 2020, good year. When I finished 2020, gross revenue, we were over $1 million in 2021. Yeah. And that's where emails start showing up on your inbox. Hey, would like to talk to you about selling your business and yada, yada, yada. I ignore all of them. December 2020, I resigned from my job, which I was working for 15 years. I worked for the government for 15 years. My career was going well. I was already senior manager. I was on the road to become to get a better promotion. And I said to my boss, I'm leaving. He was shocked. He was like, and nobody knew, by the way, and at my job, nobody knew that I had this side hustle and so on. So I just said, no, I'm leaving. Here's my 2 weeks notice. And by January 2nd, 2021, I was full-time working on my own business. But again, I did that move because I already have a very good saving. I would have a 2-3 years of salary saved up that I could afford to say, okay, let's give it a try and move on. So if it's now or never. And I spent my whole life dreaming to that with that day of quitting my job and working on my own business. Wow. And now I had the chance, and I said, okay, do you know what? It's now or never. So I pulled the plug. And it's funny how the fear never leaves you. That fear of, okay, what if it doesn't work? What if I lose everything? What if I gave up my career in a good company, good job, good salary? And what if that doesn't work? But again, you have to move past that. If you want to, I like your quote, which you have on your website. If you don't move you have to move beyond what your comfort zone. So you never know how far you can go. So that happened. That was what happened to me. So I left the job. Then I started working full time. By March 2021, I started receiving some letters, and then I book Emmett. I book a coaching session with Amy.
Mm.
Yeah.
I never met her before. I saw her online, and I knew um, she was able to sell her product on the retail, and I want to move my product from Amazon and start selling retail. So I book a coaching section with her, and then at the end of the first coach session, like the last 1 minute, she said, "Have never thought about selling your business." And I said, I don't know. I'm gonna look at it. And then we hang out, and I think 2 days later, I was going towards the selling process.
It was
So
the rise of the aggregators.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, man. And it was absolutely crazy. So again, first year, $300,000. Second year, over $1 million revenue. By April 2021, we already sold $1 million in revenue. So the trajectory was going extremely aggressive and extremely high. So the first meeting I had with the broker, I asked them, like, should I wait? Because if I wait longer, then my evaluation is going to get higher. Because they said, you know what? Listen, that jump is what's going to make you money, because nobody wants to buy a business that is flat.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, if it's going down. So your trajectory is so well mapped out that now is the perfect moment for you to sell. Of course, they also are broker. They are interested in selling the business, but their advice is makes sense, right? So it's when the business is going up that you sell it, and you're never going to feel comfortable selling it because you feel like it's growing. But it's kind of investing is also counterintuitive. When the stocks are going up, that's where you have to pull the money out of the stock. When the stock is going down, that's where you put the money into stock. But we don't think that way. We think that if it's going down, how am I going to put the money on something that's going down? Yes, but the cycle is that when you get on the upside. So selling business is the same way. Why I'm gonna sell now if it's making me so much money? Yeah, it's because it's making you so much money that you have to sell it, because now that's where you make most of your money. And that's what I would advise, by the way, everybody that wants to start your Amazon business, start with the selling aspect, the exit mindset when you start your business. Like, build something with the mindset that one day I want to sell my business, and then set all the structure of the business. So take yourself out of the business in a way that if someone can come in, they can take it over. Because honestly, that's where you make your money. When you have the business, for example, when I was in the business selling and things were going well, do you know how much money I took the profit out of the business? Zero. Zero. I never took a salary out of the business. Even when I stopped working, I had my own savings. So I started taking my own savings, but I didn't take any money out of the business. So when I sold the business, that's where now I had wealth.
Amazing. And what did you do a day after or a week after? Did you create another Amazon brand?
No, because I've been working in, even when I was selling the business. By the way, the selling the business was an interesting story because, again, it was the up of the aggregators, to give an idea of how much appetite was there for buying business. We got, I think, 11 offers for the business. We do the hold on offers. Do you know what that is? We put the business out in the market and we tell everybody, do you know what? Don't give us any offer. We're only going to accept offers next Monday, 7 days from now. So this whole week is just, you can interview Wisson for, whatever you want to know about the business. Wisson, the broker said, Wisson, put up your calendar with your availability. I just said from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., whoever wants to talk to me, I'm available. I spoke with like 40 people that week. I spoke with people from Russia, from Singapore, Germany, UK, one country from Africa, I forgot which one it was. Like they all spoke to me during that 1 week. When the week ended, next Monday, we opened up for proposals. Then we got 11 back. So 11 came back from the 40, 11 came back. So they came back, we look at them and we evaluated and we said, okay, you guys, then we vet, then we got all together, me and the broker, and the broker had a team as well. So it was the meeting itself was about 8 people. We look each offer one by one, and then we said, you know what, this one is way off, this one is off, this is off. We're short to 6. We sent a letter back to the 6 and said, okay, guys, improve your offer and the best bidder wins. And then they did another round of interview with me. And then the second interview, the first interview was me selling to them the business, talking about the business. The second interview was them convincing me that I should sell my business to them. It's crazy.
As I say, the rise of the aggregator, the competition.
Sometimes you have to be on the right place on the right time.
Exactly. And then they were like telling me, Wilson, yeah, so don't know if you sell us, and then we worked through every proposal, and then I was able to give them the feedback. I say the problem with your proposal is, this upside or whatever. And then we went another round, and then we award one winner, and then off we go.
Winner is a great definition.
That was that time for me. And then we sell it. Man, do you know how long it took me from the day I said yes, I'll sell my business to you, from them going through the due diligence now, because after you say yes, they still have to verify everything. So they went through their own due diligence. So by the time I said yes, by the time the money was on my bank account, which is I was blinking and blinking and blinking, refreshing to see if that was true, was 20 days.
Wow.
From the beginning that I said, okay, I'm going to sell it, by the time I sold, it was less than 40 days. So in 40 days, my life changed. And then people were saying, the buyers were offering me, do you want to stay in the business? You want to be involved with the business? I said, no, just take it, have fun, enjoy it. I'll live my life. It was 40 days. Like 40 days later, the money was in my bank account, and I had to start worrying about something else. So when that happened, going back to your question, so what I did after that, man, then I took 1 year doing absolutely nothing.
Wow.
That was 1 year that I traveled with my family. Like I had the opportunity to, again, I forgot to share that. One thing also with the Amazon business, right back like 2018, I always had the dream. I came from a very humble family. So we really had very little money when I grew up. And that was one of the reasons why I moved to Canada. I was 30 years old when I moved to Canada, was the pursuit of a better life. And I always had this dream of having enough money to support my mom. Like get to a point where I can walk back to her and say, you know what? Don't worry about money anymore. I'll take care of you. You don't have to work anymore. And your retirement is on me, right? Because, and also an extent of that was with my in-laws. I always had this dream. What if one day I could go to my in-laws, go to my mom and tell them, do you know what? It's not that we have money that we can spare and do crazy things. I'm not going to buy a private jet, but don't worry about money. I can support you. So it's not right. I had my own career, and the money that I was making my own career could support me. And I knew that I had a good pension plan. I would be okay. I started the Amazon journey with that idea. What if this other thing can make me money that I can start saving right now. So let's say if I was making $100,000 profit in a year, even I keep saving for the next 10 years, my mom's going to be 76. I'll have $1 million. I can support her. That was always my goal, always. That's why I never took the money out of the business for myself, because that money was never for me. So when I sold, man, I had the opportunity to go back home and say, Mom, we're gonna be in a resort, me, my stepfather, my brothers, my sisters, and we're gonna go to this resort for a week and do absolutely nothing. Just forget everything you guys are doing. Come and let's enjoy, have a good time. So that was a dream come true for me. That was so refreshing. So the day after, then I took that 1 year off. That was I sold in July 2021. So let's say till July 2022 or end of 2022, I just took the day off, the year off. Then I start like going after my mentors, people that helped me on the journey. That YouTuber that was the guy that I bought his course, I contacted him, I met him. I said, man, thank you. You really helped me. And this is my story. I met other YouTubers that helped me on the journey, and I was able to kind of share my story with them. So it was very, very interesting. Then 2022, not 24, 2023, I decided, okay, I'm gonna go back to business. So I'm gonna start making money again. Then my wife got diagnosed with breast cancer. That was February 2023. That was last year. Man, I'm telling you what, people say that money doesn't bring you happiness, and it's absolutely true to a certain extent. But money brings you so many other things that I was so grateful for. Do you know what it is to go through someone that you have been married for 21 years? Now she's going through this cancer, and I could be beside her without worrying about my bills, my work, my how I'm gonna afford this. You know, I can go to her and say, "Honey, what do you need?" And she would say, "Oh, I'm afraid of losing my hair, so let's research this. Okay, let's research it. Let's buy the machinery. Let's go over and have the ability to support her." For me, was so like it made everything, all the effort that I did, so rewarding to be there for her. We went through it, and I'm very happy to share that everything is good. We went through chemo, went to radio, went to surgery. Now she's back to work. She's healthy, and life is back to normal.
Thank
And
God.
now is the time that I kind of like, okay, the storm passed. Then she has been talking about this, like doing a renovation in the house, and said, you know what, let's do it. We got it done. And now I'm kind of putting my thoughts together to go back to business. But that was like the last 3 years has been my world changed so much in the last 3 years, from the finance aspect to not be an employee anymore. Do you know what is it, that feeling of waking up in the morning and know that all you have to take care is yourself and what you are involved with? Like, I'm here in this meeting because I want to be here in this meeting with you guys, and I enjoy being here with you, and live life where you can do things on your own terms. I've been experiencing for the last 3 years, and has been very different from the life that I used to live before.
Wow. Wilson, I can stay and hear your
Wow.
journey and your story for hours from now. But unfortunately, we're heading to the end of the episode, and we have a steady question in every
Yes.
show. The same question that we ask all of our guests. And the question is, what would you do with $10 million net if you won them tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was cheating a little bit. I was able to reflect on that question, and that was kind of my reflection this morning, honestly, because I'm living a time right now where, because your question has a feeling of, if money was not a problem for you, and you had it, the money, what would do with it? So honestly, right now, I wouldn't change much my life the way it is, but because I had few projects that I want to, that's how I would say. So that money would kind of speed up some of the projects that I had in mind. One of them is I would like to make, if you said $10 million, I would like to empower 10 people to become a millionaire.
Wow.
And I was the $10 million to build an infrastructure around to empower 10 people to become a millionaire. And then kind of, I had a dream of creating a platform or something called School of Life, where we can put resources that would help, especially men, how to deal with the struggle of life. I think we have a lot of misconception about what is hard and what is easy, and money, especially. If you ask people about, if like $10 million is what we came up with as a good amount, what if we would come up with $1 billion? Right? It's something that we don't think of that terms because we're still so limited in our thinking. I would like to create a platform the same with me that happened to me, that will allow people to expand their vision about themselves, expand the vision about what they're capable of doing it. Because if I share my story from the beginning, my journey until now has been nothing but a miracle and the miracle is not what I achieved. The miracle is the fact that I could achieve a mindset of abundance, because the challenge of getting there is so great that a lot of people don't get there. They never think about abundance. They never think about, if you ask people that question, would you like to be a millionaire? People would say yes. And then, so why? And they would give you all the reason why they would spend $1 million. Actually, they don't want to be a millionaire. They want to be a person that has $1 million to spend, because being a millionaire is more about your mindset of how your work ethic, how you the diligence with money, your diligence with your relationships. That's what a millionaire means. And then the result of being like that is that you earn $1 million. That's the result of who you are. So I would like to create a platform that that $10 million I will put towards that, to create a platform that will allow people to expand their vision about themselves. And I'm going to do anyway with less than that. But that's what I would do. I'm already set up in life. I wouldn't need the $10 million as of now.
Wisson, thank you very much for your time and your journey and your story, your inspiring story. One of the best episodes and the longest episodes that we had in the last 12 months.
Yeah, my pleasure. And and if you want to invite me later to talk about specific subjects, let me know.
Perfect. I wishing you really, really good luck.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you will have it.
Yeah, and if you ever come to Toronto area, let me know. I'll meet you at the airport, bring you home, show you around.
Definitely.
I will come with Messi t-shirt.
Yes. I love him. I love that guy. I think he's just such a talent player.
Bye, Wilson. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.